Today is a bad day for Disney and Marvel. Worse than most, because Ironheart is out, and so is a new trailer for the Fantatsic Four First Steps, as well as a rumored plot leak to go with it. Together, they spell doom for the MCU. Let's see how bad things are. This video is sponsored by Black Forest Supplements. If anyone at Disney and Marvel ever thought their fully artificial and inorganic diversity drive was going to win them favor with the audience, the developing response to the just released Ironheart should disabuse them of that notion, even further than their other recent flops already has. Naturally, they employed their traditional playbook of giving carefully screened reviewers and influencers early access to the full series, in order to carefully and artificially curate a new cycle of glowing reviews. But just like we've seen with everything from Snow White to Captain America Brave New World, and even Rings of Power, real reviews soon drown out that carefully curated nonsense, as legit reviews from actual viewers range from less forgiving to outright brutal. Outright brutal responses from the audience is something Marvel is going to have to get used to, as we are about to see here. Pedro Pascal is feeling the audience pushback already. And if the most recent leaks about the Fantastic Four have anything to them, then yikes, they better brace themselves for even Avengers Doomsday flopping. But first, let's talk about the crazy health benefits of spermidine, a naturally occurring compound that boosts autophagy, supports cell regeneration, and which may be one of the biggest cheat codes to aging. But don't take it from me, here's Dr. Steven, a world-renowned heart surgeon and one of the leading voices in longevity science.
Fasting, if you've read my books, is a phenomenal way of creating autophagy. But spermidine will do this without fasting. Spermidine inhibits mTOR. This activates the AMPK pathway and actually starts up autophagy. Spermidine has great anti-aging properties. So autophagy's role, it reduces apoptosis, cell death.
The catch with spermidine though is that while your body can make some on its own, and you can get a bit from foods like wheat germ and nut dough, the levels just aren't enough to make a real difference. But that's where Black Forest Supplements steps in. They've developed a potent high-purity spermidine complex, specifically designed to activate autophagy, support longevity, and give your cells a serious performance upgrade. And fellas, let's be honest, we gotta be sharp, strong, and on point, because no one else is coming to save us, so we gotta take control of our own health. And that starts with fueling the body with what it actually needs. And to this end, I worked out an exclusive offer with my guy at Black Forest Supplements, enabling you to buy 2 and get 1 for free for the next 48 hours. But this stuff always sells out, so don't wait. Hit the link in the description and pinned comment to stock up before it's gone. With that, let's get back to the rough ride Marvel is in for and how it is entirely of their own making. No matter how fantastic the carefully curated early influencer reactions try to portray Ironheart as being, actual reviews tell a very different story. It is still early days, so we'll get back to this as more see Ironheart and can react to it. But suffice to say, threatening that Riri Williams is also going to be in Avengers Doomsday is not a great pitch for that movie, but alas, none other than Ryan Coogler himself is doing just that. Referencing how Riri Williams' iron suit isn't just made from stolen Stark tech, it is also fused with spectral magic, perhaps hinting that Dr. Doom's eventual suit might take cues from it. Coogler told Deadline Hollywood, "It's so crazy to be putting this series out now, at the time where AI is on the front of everybody's mind. Technological ethics are on the front of everybody's mind. But also, we didn't know it was going to be Dr. Doom and the Avengers when we first started." But he's a guy in the comics who's most famous for fusing technology and magic. So Ironheart is a great sample of things that are to come in probably what's going to be the biggest movie in Marvel history. First of all, Doomsday could very well be the most expensive movie in MCU history, but I very much doubt it will be the biggest, measured by either box office, attendance, and least of all, revenue. Secondly, the similarity between Riri and Doom's magic tech suits gives me associations to Star Trek Discovery, where it was Michael Burnham that taught her neurodivergent adopted brother Spock how to be a better Vulcan. But hopefully, those are completely unfounded concerns and associations. Either way, actual audience reactions to Ironheart are such that any hints of more of the same in Doomsday might be ill-advised. And speaking of the road to Doomsday, Pedro Pascal is finding out that taking on the Fantastic Four gig may have been ill-advised as well. Variety recently did a story on Pedro Pascal where the backlash to his casting as Mr. Fantastic was also addressed, though primarily it was about the incredibly aggressive stance he has taken in the, trans issue, where he has repeatedly lashed out at J.K. Rowling and others, defending his actions by saying that he hates bullies, all while acting like a bully. Pedro is quoted, "The one thing I would say I agonized over a little bit was just, am I helping? Am I fucking helping?" To which I would opine, you are helping J.K. Rowling, yes. The trans people you purport to be championing, on the other hand, not so much. You see, viciously attacking the very people you hope to make more accepting to your cause will generally only make whatever resistance they may have had to begin with all the more hardline. Same thing with the MCU. After years of MCU, audiences aren't more accepting of female and more diverse heroes. On the contrary, they're rejecting them in a manner never seen before, way outside of the MCU, as we most recently covered in our Ballerina postmortem. But let's get to the Fantastic Four part of the Variety write-up, which the Rowling story does transition into. The transition reads, "At the time, Rowling defenders tried to argue that Pascal was presumptuous with women by referring to a viral clip of Pascal taking Vanessa Kirby's hand at last year's Fantastic Four panel at Comic-Con. We've covered that clip as well. In my personal opinion, it's very disturbing and you can see it right here. We now have the official narrative of what happened, and it's not that Pedro suffers from social anxiety. Variety reads, "What happened is we were both incredibly nervous going out in front of thousands of people who love this comic," Kirby told Vanity Fair. "He wanted me to know that we were in this together, and I found it a lovely gesture, and I was very glad to squeeze his hand back." I think they should have stuck with the social anxiety excuse, but now that we're on the Fantastic Four, the write-up continues. Speaking further of bullies and Fantastic Four, Pascal says he's getting an inkling of excitement for the Fantastic Four First Steps, which he stars in as Mr. Fantastic. However, he notes, "I'm more aware of disgruntlement around my casting than anything I've ever done. He's too old. He's not right. He needs to shave." All of this is true. Pedro Pascal is wrong for the role for all of those reasons, and his public persona is further compounding the issue, for while Hollywood may be in love with him, the audience is getting real tired of his overexposed shtick real fast. It should be noted though that when it comes to the Fantastic Four, he's not the problem, not really. The movie itself is the problem, and the more we learn of it, the less anyone wants to see it. Thanks to earlier test screening reports, we already know the Fantastic Four First Steps is another MCU girl boss fest, but we don't know exactly how the movie is going to play out. Now, courtesy of an alleged plot summary on Reddit, we may have a better idea. Before I break it down though, please note that I did say alleged plot summary, because we have no way of knowing if this is a legit description of the movie from someone that have seen it, or if it's some BS someone made up based on information already out there. In other words, we are in the realm of treat as rumor and take it with a grain of salt. But as long-time viewers will know, things from that realm often have a way of panning out. So, let's go through this. Potential spoilers beyond this point. The Fantastic Four plot, leaked by one accomplished Fact 453, reads, the film opens with the line, "You all know the story." We get a brief montage of past battles, including the Fantastic Four fighting Mole Man and an action sequence with them fighting Red Ghost and his chimps. You know, I'm already inclined to believe this, because it opens just like Thor Love and Thunder, where the opening scroll depicting the adventures of Thor and the Guardians is the movie we should have gotten, instead of the drivel we actually got. But let's move on here. Back home, Sue discovers she's pregnant. As the team prepares for the baby's arrival, Shalla-Bal arrives with a warning. The team decide to go into space after her. She takes them to Galactus, who's on a massive ship consuming a planet. Galactus agrees to spare Earth, but only in exchange for their child. The team refuses and battles the Silver Surfer. During the fight, Shalla-Bal is thrown into a wormhole where she experiences a month while only minutes pass for the team. In her absence, Reed creates a plan to teleport Earth away from Galactus, but when Shalla-Bal returns, she sabotages the teleportation tech. The team pivots, and now planning to teleport Galactus himself away from Earth. Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, is the leader of the team. She sacrifices herself to defeat Galactus, using all her powers to send him to a portal. She gets resurrected by her son, aka Franklin Richards. Post-credit scene, Sue is reading a book to Franklin. She gets up to grab another one. In the background, we hear the sound of a teleportation device activating. When she returns, she freezes. The book slips from her hand. Standing before her is a cloaked figure, Dr. Doom. We don't see his face, but his full body is visible beneath a silver cloak. In one hand, he holds his iconic mask, rendered in CGI. In the other, he carries an unconscious Franklin. Cut to black. The Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. Now, are you eager to run to get your tickets to Fantastic Four when you've heard how the movie may play out? Or would you rather see Superman one more time? Even without having seen Superman yet, I'm inclined towards the latter. And as more and more actual reviews spread for Ironheart, I think many more will feel the same, leading up to the release of Fantastic Four and Avengers Doomsday beyond that. Meaning, Marvel is in deep shit right about now. Let me know what you thought of Ironheart, or if you're even going to see it, and how excited you are for Fantastic Four in the comments. And before you go, remember to claim your exclusive offer to buy 2 Spermidine and get 1 for free for the next 48 hours. Link is in the description. Lord knows you'll need it with everything Disney has in store for you.